The forum will hear the first voluntary national review in the second round, which is of Nigeria. And I invite Her Excellency Princess Adejoke Orelope Adefulire, the Special Advisor to the President of Sustainable Development Goals of Nigeria, to make the presentation or to start the presentation. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished delegates, on behalf of the government and people of Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'm delighted to present the Nigeria Third Voluntary National Review Report to the 2025 High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. Since the adoption of the 2030 Agenda, Nigeria remains steadfast in its commitment in advancing the Sustainable Development Goals, which deliberate and strategic effort. Nigeria has instituted robust policies and institutional framework at the national and sub-national level to ensure effective and inclusive implementation of the SDG. These frameworks include the alignment of national statistical system with the SDGs, the country-led evaluation of priority SDGs, the design and rollout of the Integrated National Financing Framework, INFF, and the adoption of Inclusive Data Charter Action Plan, each contributing to more cohesive and coordinated national development agenda. Mr. President, since 2016, Nigeria developed strategies that have been firmly anchored in the SDGs. The Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020, the Economic Sustainability Plan 2020, Development in Response to the COVID-19 Pandemic, and National Development Plan 2021 to 2025. This reflects the country's resolve to accelerate inclusive and sustainable national development. This current plan in particular aims to unlock Nigeria's vast economic potential through broad-based, inclusive, and resilient economic transformation. Nigeria Voluntary National Review, undertaken in 2017, 2020, and now 2025, highlight consistent and commitment to accountability, inclusivity, and evidence-based policy making. The 2017 Voluntary National Review focused more on institutional readiness and government structures for SDG delivery, while the 2020 Voluntary National Review was aligned with the development priorities under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of the Federal Government of Nigeria. The 2020 Voluntary National Review adopt a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach. A comprehensive country's SDG progress report formed the basis for the nationwide consultative process involving the 6 geopolitical zones, along with specialized engagement and persons with disability, the children, and the youth. This inclusive and participatory process ensured that voices from all segments of Nigeria contributed in shaping the national SDG narratives. The 2025 Voluntary National Review focuses specifically on 5 priority reporting SDGs. SDG 3, good health and well-being. SDG 5, gender equality. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG 14, life below water. And SDG 17, partnership for the goal. And means of implementation, providing deep analysis of national progress and area of requiring urgent intervention. In terms of progress, Nigeria has made important strides in institutionalizing the SDG across policy and planning frameworks. Nearly a decade to the implementation, however, results remain mixed. Of the 52 key performance indicators reviewed in the Nigeria 2024 SDG Progress Report, 18 or 34.6 show improvement, while 16 or 30.8 have stagnated, and another 18 or 34.6 have regressed. Structurally, final challenges persist. Government revenue remain low, representing just 9.6% of GDP in 2023. The tax to GDP ratio has modestly risen from 5.5% in 2020 to 6.7% in 2022. Remittance from Nigeria in diaspora continue to serve as a vital economic buffer contributing nearly to 6% of the GDP. Global crises have significantly disrupted momentum towards the SDG. The confluence of the COVID-19 pandemic, intensifying the climate change impact, and recent geopolitical conflict has generated widespread economic and social shocks. While these shocks triggered lockdowns, travel restrictions, disruptions, supply chain, and led to sharp contraction in economic activities. Global GDP declined by 3.4%, translating to over $2 trillion in lost economic output. Many countries, including Nigeria, have faced slow, stagnated, or reversed SDG progress as a result. As our 2030 deadline approaches, Nigeria is committed to scaling up its target reform and strategic investment to fast-track the achievement of the SDG, strengthening the realignment of national statistical system and implementing the inclusive data charter plan, which will be critical to ensure the availability of timely, reliable, and disaggregated data to inform the responsive policy making. Equally, vital is the formulation of the effective implementation of the next medium-term National Development Plan 2026 to 2030, which must be transformative, inclusive, and climate resilient, geared toward unlocking the catalytic opportunity for sustainable and equitable growth across all sectors. Your Excellency, distinguished delegates, I now invite you to watch a short audio video documentary on Nigeria's unwavering commitment to 2030 agenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Following the adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals in September 2015, Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, acted very quickly in operationalizing the global goals. This is evident with the timely establishment of appropriate institutional, policy, and legal frameworks to guarantee effective implementation of the SDGs. Some of these include the establishment of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs to provide horizontal and vertical intergovernmental planning and coordination for the SDGs in Nigeria. Since 2016, the SDGs have been integrated into national and sub-national development policies and plans, including in the current Nigeria's medium-term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025. With more than 220 million people, Nigeria's progress is widely considered as pivotal to the overall achievement of the SDGs in Africa. As part of its commitment to the 2030 Agenda, Nigeria has conducted 3 voluntary national reviews in 2017, 2020, and 2025, respectively. Nigeria's 2025 VNR process involved, among others, the conduct of regional consultations across the 6 geopolitical zones and 2 standalone consultations with persons with disabilities and children and youth. Taken together, these consultations brought together key stakeholders across all the segments of the Nigerian society for an inclusive, broad-based and participatory process. From the southwest to the southeast, across the south-south, northeast, northwest, and north-central zones, the 2025 VNR reflects a truly national perspective, galvanizing collective action and reaffirming Nigeria's unwavering commitment to the SDGs. Undoubtedly, Nigeria's 2025 VNR process has laid a solid foundation for a more inclusive, data-driven, evidence-based, and result-oriented development pathway, ensuring that no one, regardless of location or status, is left behind. Despite the challenges posed by COVID-19, climate change, and conflicts, Nigeria is resolute in mitigating and adapting the effects through evidence-based policies, stronger partnerships, and a whole-of-society approach that brings key stakeholders to the table under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the immediate past administration. Some of these include investing in inclusive data systems and analytics, digital innovation, catalytic financing, and embarking on multi-level partnerships with the private sector, academia, and development partners. For Nigeria, the SDGs are much more than global targets. They are deeply rooted aspirations for rapid, sustainable national development. This journey isn't just for the government. It is a collective mission for all Nigerians. They reflect the hope of Nigerians for quality healthcare, a life of dignity, lasting peace, and shared prosperity. As 2030 draws closer, the road ahead is still long, but Nigeria's commitment is unwavering. With sincerity of purpose and collective action, the SDGs are not just possible, they are within our reach.
Okay, I thank the Special Advisor on SDGs to the President of Nigeria for the presentation. Now I give the floor to the communities discriminated by work and descent, our partner.
Thank you. We, a coalition of Nigerian civil society organizations, commend the federal government of Nigeria for presenting its third voluntary national review and for adopting an inclusive consultative process. This marks progress towards inclusive governance, national ownership, and accountability towards the Sustainable Development Goals. However, there are persistent challenges that continue to undermine SDG achievements. Insecurity particularly disrupts education, healthcare, and livelihoods across the country. Increasing poverty and inequality affects over 60% of the population, with marginalized, minority, community discriminated on work and descent, and vulnerable groups disproportionately affected. Inadequate representation of women, youth, and those in the informal sector in decision-making processes. Youth unemployment remains high, and economic growth has not translated into equitable opportunities. Coastal pollution and climate impacts continue to threaten life below water and livelihoods, especially among rural and coastal communities, because of poor policy decision and inadequate infrastructure. Weak institutions, limited social accountability, and ongoing corruption erode public trust and sustainable development. We hereby respectfully pose the following 5 questions. What actions are being taken to address the persistent insecurity that severely limits SDG implementation across Nigeria? How will social protection systems be strengthened to reduce poverty and reach marginalized communities? What strategies will tackle women and youth political participation, unemployment, including economic and social advancement of Nigerians? How will the 2026 to 2030 development plan integrate coastal and climate resilient actions to resolving issues around environmental degradation? What mechanisms will be put in place to institutionalize social accountability and ensure civic participation, particularly the delivery of the SDGs and partnership for the goals? I thank you.
I thank the representative of the communities discriminated by work and descent. That was Nigeria, so I ask the distinguished representatives of Nigeria to respond. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Mr. President, thank you so much for...
Just press the button.
Thank you so much for the questions, and I would like to say that from onset in 2016, Nigeria demonstrated a strong commitment to inclusive and broad-based implementation of the SDG. And this is evident with the timely establishment of our office to provide appropriate institutional and policy framework to guarantee inclusive implementation of the SDG at all levels. As we speak now, we have domesticated and integrated SDG into about 22 states in Nigeria, and we are continuing to do so. We will continue to do so to get all the 36 states integrated into their plan, policies, and programs, so that all of us will be on the same page. Ditto to the local government 774. As soon as we have the 36 states done, we will not have much problem to get to the local government. And some of the strategic approach that we introduced then was coordination. The coordination of the SDG at the national and sub-national level through the office of through my office and of course the office of the governor that appointed a focal person in each of the states that coordinate the activities of the state at the state level, and we have the desk officer at each of the national ministry and department and agency of government at the national level. And also we recall that in 2017, Nigeria became the first member state to have established a private sector advisory group for SDGs. We have also civil society strategy group, and we have Presidential Council on SDGs. So also working with those organizations and the non-governmental organization to bring about a whole of government and a whole of society approach to the implementation of the SDGs. We have multi-stakeholder engagement since inception, and it's evidence that Nigeria was divided into 6 zones, 6 existing geopolitical zones, and each of the zones were engaged, where private sector, civil society organization, the academia, the women organization, the youth organization, the children organization, and people living with disability are engaged together with government, having the non-state actors with state actors, the whole of society. So we have a whole of nation plus all together coming together to discuss very important issue that borders on development and empowerment of Nigeria. So then data management reporting, we have at the local level the planning officer, at the state level we have the planning officer, and at the MDA level we have the planning officer who reports through to us through the National Bureau of Statistics. And we continue to partner with the National Bureau of Statistics on data charter action plan which was used to strengthen the national statistical system to deliver timely, credible, and inclusive data to inform evidence-based SDG policy making and programming. So that's for the, together we would continue to reflect on the commitment to provide inclusive and participatory SDG implementation in Nigeria. That's answered the Finland question. So for the Germany, it is pertinent to also say that from inception, we have part of the question related to what Finland asked, and we want the people to take ownership, and that's why inclusivity becomes our own key driver and enabler to be able to reach out to people, especially at the grassroots level, at the local level where a problem really lies. So part of what we have done in that is to ensure that, and I'm sure that my brother that asked question here will understand what we mean by NYSC. We engage with NYSC young people to be at our eyes and nose in various communities all around the country as our champion. We call them champions, SDG core champions, where they undertake some responsibility on behalf of the office and on behalf of government to see the need for us to get people at the grassroots, riverine community, the understaffed, to be part of what the government is. So we will continue to engage, we will continue to work with them, and that's the only way we can reach out to the people at the grassroots, and we will continue to leverage on that as we move forward. The third question has to do with security. 5 questions, I'll take it one by one. The security, we are making progress. You agree with me that in the last 2 years, there have been a lot of improvement in our security system, because we believe that if there's no security, there can be serious investment. We are working on that, and it has reduced significantly, not to the level that we want it, but we are still it's work in progress, and we'll continue to engage the security agencies of government to work, and the security architecture is being modified to allow for state police. The work is in progress to add the state police and local unarmed police in each community. So if each community has an issue and a new person is coming into that community, they can easily identify and profile those people and be able to get into it before it becomes another issue. So the popular kidnapping has gone down tremendously, and we would continue to work on that as government to ensure that our people are free and secured. Social protection, yes. I think that we are making a lot of progress. What we have tried to do is to change the concept of what the last administration did, so that we can have a holistic view of what is needed to be done, and we will be continuing to do that. I think.
Just
Okay, so with the political engagement, I am a politician. I've been in politics for a lot of. I'm a woman. I've been in politics for a lot of people, a lot of time. I'm 34 years now, and I started my political exposure in 1991 as a lawmaker at the Lagos State House of Assembly, as the first female in the history of my state. And from there, I've been, so we are working, some of us are working to engage the government, and we're working with UN Women, and of course working with the other stakeholders to ensure that what happened in the last 2023 election doesn't happen again. And we will ensure that we improve on the participation of women in politics and young people.
so like 2 minutes. 1 minute.
1 minute. Social accountability. Yes, we should be accountable to people, and I think that the chairman EFCC is working with National Assembly to have a legislation, more very strong legislation that will provide and protect the government infrastructure and ensure that social protection come to stay. And because with goal 16 of the SDG, justice, peace, justice, and strong institution, we can get our social protection in place. Blue economy, yes, well, is a thing that the women organization that we are working with are very this thing. But because blue economy also provides job opportunity for women, economic empowerment, you reduce gender equality and reduce inequality among women. And because we are women and we want to take ownership and be part of that, we are driving it systematically. We are driving it and with a lot of passion and legislation. So by the time we finish the law, the bill that is in the House of National Assembly for assent with the president, I think we will have legal instrument to act, and we'll be able to get to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the presenters of Her Excellency, Special Advisor to the President of Nigeria, for the very comprehensive answers. And